Number one, the lesson as always is the Stanley Cup playoffs will deliver. They will always deliver. What the NBA playoffs do not in predictability, the NHL playoffs are in unpredictability. So never count teams out. Never count underdogs out. Number two, what you have is a Predators team that is feeding off one of the greatest local stories in Stanley Cup playoffs history, in hockey history. This is an expansion team named after saber-toothed tigers that came into the middle of Tennessee, honky-tonk twang country, back in 1999. And they had to teach the locals about hockey and teach everybody what icing was. And it was an empty building for a long time. And the first owner said it can't work down here and all of this. And slowly but surely, that community learned hockey. And they began to love hockey. And they began to love the Preds. And number three, what you fail to realize if you've never been down there is that Nashville is one of America's greatest cities. It is the greatest, to me, one of the greatest party cities in the entire world and certainly in this country. I'm not even a country music fan. When I went down to Nashville, every single place that I went to had live music being played, country music with a band being played, and I was into every single song, every single set. I loved it. People are going crazy. The beer is cold. The food is good. The women are beautiful, and the music is awesome. And that whole atmosphere has taken hold in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So there is just something else in that building. And you can't necessarily define it, but it's something else. And it's catfish, and it's country music, and it's energy, and it's yellow helmets, and yellow t-shirts, and yellow hankies, and it's awesome. I don't know if the Preds can play like that going back to Pittsburgh in 5 and/or Game 7. Because I kind of feel like the Preds at home are somebody that's addicted to coffee. Is that when you go and you're home on that home ice, it's like pounding that latte and you're up and you're buzzed and you're like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this again. Okay, I can do this. All right, give me all the work. Give me all the reports. Give me everything. I can do this. And then you get away from the coffee and that same person's like, oh boy, this is way tougher, man. This is tough. But think about it. The Preds actually played very competitive, very good hockey in the first 2 games, and the puck just didn't bounce their way. This is a team right now that believes, and Pekka Rinne has completely turned it on its head because the first 2 games, not good, thinking about making a goaltender change. Last 2 games has been outstanding. But let's just give credit where credit is due. These 2 fan bases, these 2 hockey cities are outrageously good. The crowd in Pittsburgh's been great, and that's a tremendous hockey town. And Nashville has grown into being a great hockey town. And so every game has felt important. It's felt big. It's felt exciting. It's felt awesome. I have loved to watch the spectacle of it. The only thing I say is let's throw more stuffed catfish on the ice instead of real catfish, because I like eating real catfish. And I feel like that's a lot of catfish going to waste. And every time I see the real catfish, I go, boy, that's a catfish that somebody didn't get to eat. Because you know that they're not bringing that into the back and sauteing that bad boy or souffleing that bad boy. But I got to give you major creativity credit last night in Nashville, because there was a catfish on the ice with a glittery cowboy hat wrapped around it and a penguin stuck in its mouth. I mean, bonus point for creativity. That was a great game last night, a ton of excitement, and the Preds showed up just as I knew they would, and now it's 2-2